Okay, and I would like to open the floor now for questions. And from that will emerge more learning. And I will end the call today with revealing to you the third industry, which is the bedrock of the next series. Over to you, Catherine.
Thank you, Mynoo. That was wonderful, doing a process in the middle, unexpected, and quite lovely. So we have quite a few questions that have come in. I'll just go right in order. And if anyone has one, you're welcome to put it in the chat box. If we don't get to it today, we will get to it one way or another. The first question is, how do we know what's real? Because there is so much confusion with regards to the conspiracy theory and even this new concept that George Floyd may have been staged to further divide humanity. Where do we go from here?
It's a very good question and a very relevant and a pertinent one for this time. So I want each one of you to know for yourself what's real, right? Rather than have to ask me. And we know. How do we know what's real? We know because we feel it in our body. Our bodies are such a brilliant indicator of that which is real. And I call it the yummy, yucky feeling. You know, if you feel any yuckiness in you, it isn't real. That is not real. You will feel complete rhythm and flow when something that is occurring is real. And remember, when we began our series on navigating the unknown, that is available on my YouTube channel, those of you who want to see it. And we started the first journey into what's next, into the 7 C's, and continued from there. I've talked about throughout all of those that the divine has hijacked and taken over the plans that might have originated all of this. The intention of which was around command and control. So the divine has come in and is utilizing exactly the same forces, the same structures, the same approaches for the upliftment of each one of us, all living beings and nature itself. So yes, some of the things are occurring in terms of human behavior. Whether or not they are staged is not where I go with it. Where I go with anything like this is I look at what is it bringing up? What kind of attitudes is it bringing up? On the one hand, it's violence. On the other hand, it's discrimination. On the other extreme of that is a recognition of sameness. That there is something same about us. Something like this occurs. It is no longer invisible. It is there for everyone in the world to see. And people are rising to recognize what it is that they value most. And these behaviors, when you are bringing in, and when I'm saying you, because I'm talking to each one of you as the creator that you are of your world, when you are bringing forth a world that is full of light, the darkness that exists in it, literally like throwing a pebble in a glass of water, when the water splashes up, the darkness splashes up. And now this time around, it is splashing up to be literally removed from the orbit of the planet. So as long as as long as a critical mass of humanity doesn't take it in and holds on to it, it is actually being removed from the orbit of the planet. Now, even if there will be some humans who are, and I can see it, I can feel it, I can hear it from people, some of them are holding on to the darkness argument. Not in terms of being positive towards it, but actually being really impacted by it and saddened by it, experiencing the grief, experiencing the, oh no, not again. And my invitation to all of you is, that darkness the act of darkness that took place, when you hold on to your reaction to it, you're actually pulling yourself into the vibration of what caused the act of darkness. And the best way that you can serve it is serve the cause of this uplifting of humans and all living beings and the planet itself, is to take on board the uprising that was intended by the divine through this. And it's an uprising not just of the emotional reaction, but an uprising of you in your whole and completeness, standing tall in coherence, noticing how you're feeling about certain things and feeling it and choosing to consciously, unconditionally accept all that is. And from that space moving forward, taking those big, long, tall strides into your new world that you have already co-created. Now, if there are some humans that hold on to the feelings of darkness, or the feelings that emerge from noticing the acts of darkness, it will be a vibe that will be within them. It is not being multiplied across the planet like it has been done before. So to know what's real, your body is your best indicator. If something is playing up in front of you, am I in that yummy feeling, or am I in that yucky feeling? Just take your reaction out. 946 breath is a very powerful way of getting that alignment. If you feel any yuckiness, it's not real. And maybe there are certain elements of it are real. You make your choice. You make a choice coming from what you believe is the best for you. And then you get into that vibe of operating from what is best for you. You're plugged into the vibe of being human, which is love. And love starts to get amplified. And that becomes the best for all, because it is a love energy that exudes out of you. That's my answer, Catherine.
I love the yummy yucky. It's like an almost like muscle test that you don't even have to think about, because you know instantly. Thank you for that reminder. You actually answered quite a few of these questions in that response. So I'm going to go on to another question that's about business, that's seeing that you definitely are a master with regards to business. How would you suggest that a person dives into a new business when they're not really confident, and they don't want to pretend to be confident, but they're not really confident or sure of themselves?
So one of the things that we have done today is, I very rarely go into meditation. There are so many amazing people that are out there supporting you to meditate. So when I take you on a spiritual experience, it is always a journey. And in my world, it's a journey of activation. So what we have done today is you have all gone on an activation journey, where at a cellular level, the vibe of coherence has been activated. So you all have that benefit. And those of you watching on Facebook Live, and as you watch my YouTube channel, even in watching it, you will get that coherence activated within you. And that is a very powerful starting point to then look at, do I enter a new business? Many, many people, because there's a fundamental shift that has taken place within people. They've reconnected to their core values. Many, 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 many people are going to not want to go back to what they did before. And those of you who are part of my business collective have heard me say this, that the biggest challenge that businesses are going to experience is bringing their talent back into their organizations, or even being able to hire the best talent That will be the biggest challenge that businesses are going to face, because people are just being drawn to do something for themselves. So the first piece is, this dichotomy of I'm not confident in myself and how do I start a new business, right? It's like even people who know all about business, given where we are at, where unknown is the known, uncertainty is certain, change is constant. It's about thriving, not surviving. It's about taking nothing for granted as the modus operandi. Whatever they know about the business is not necessarily how the business is going to be called to evolve. So the first thing to know is, and if that brings some confidence to you, take it, to know that you're pretty much in the same boat as many, many very experienced people in business. If anything, you have that childlike genius of not knowing or not being attached to how things have been done in the past. So you can come from creating that which makes sense to you. Now, there are certain foundational business practices, like governance practices, reporting practices. All of those things are very readily available online. There are many online training companies, organizations that will train you. But the first thing to know is, if you have a vision, it addresses a particular problem that you can relate to. You have had direct experience of doing so. You have delivered it or shared it with people who have benefited from it unequivocally. Then there is something for you to share and bring forth. And maybe it is not yours to get to know all the nuances of business practices. Maybe what is yours to do is to really get clear about your vision, declare it, share it, get a cohort of people that have had the experience of what you're creating and put it out there. What are the skills and capabilities that you are requiring to support you in this? If you are in business and are curious about our business collective programs, then please let Catherine know, put it in the chat. That is something else that we can connect with you on. But know that Coherence has been activated, and you just have to get certain about what it is that you want to bring forth in the world. Sales is something that people cringe at the thought of often. And it's like, oh, we have to go and get, we have to now sell something we really don't like doing, because we don't like being sold to either. In the new norm, and this was always true, it's just become more accentuated. Sales is really not the modus operandi. The modus operandi is sharing. And sharing what has been enabled by what it is that you want to bring forth. And sharing with authenticity, sharing that which you feel uncertain about, as much as what you absolutely know, is what is going to magnetize resources, people, customers, and whatever it is that you require to bring your business forth.
Mynoo, thank you so much for that. I know there's a lot of us out there that question it from time to time, not only ourselves in business, but even our own personal self-worth. So I think we can apply that to both. I do have a question that's just come in about something that you speak about in your Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday meditations, beyond meditation. And the question is, how do you find out what the purpose of your soul is versus the purpose as you as a human being?
Okay. The purpose of a human is, there is only one purpose to life. So first of all, what is life? Life is a state. It is a state in which an organism is breathing. And that state can shift like that when an organism stops breathing. What keeps you alive long after you have stopped breathing is how you choose to come alive. And that is the purpose of life. Soul is alive all the time, right? Life as a state is given into this human form. So there is only one purpose to life, which is to come alive. Don't confuse it with anything else. There is a mission that your soul is choosing to fulfill in this lifetime. How do you know what that is? Right? The whole object of doing the human vibe attunement is to enable that soul presence to start expressing itself fully through this human form. And as you do this, it will literally start being revealed to you, just like it was to me. I came from a corporate background. You know, I wore three-piece suits. I had short bob-cut hair. I was trained masterfully by the maestros of never apologizing and never smiling and speaking with a stiff upper lip. I had several months of that training. Now, so miracles was like, Google land. And then when I made the connection and I chose, I was ready to receive what is the calling of my soul. And that is how I am to emerge. It was crystal clear that the calling of my soul is to connect humans and humanity to the miracle that they are. It comes from an allowing. Each soul does have a mission for expression through this human form that it is embodying. And you just allow it to emerge. There is a program that we do, which is the first part of the journey to miracles, called Living from Source. What it does is it literally removes any autopilot saboteurs that we might have created and lands you in a space where you feel whole and complete. So those of you who know, I know there are many of you here who have done that, who know what your source is. That is really the mission of your soul. How that is expressed through which projects, that will emerge from time to time. But the overarching umbrella of what you are bringing forth is who you are in that mastery of your, or that puts you at the source of your life. So first thing to really get in this whole purpose thing is just know, if you are a human, your vibe is love, and there is only one purpose to your life, which is to come alive. How do you know you're coming alive? You have that yummy feeling, and you're in flow. Sometimes yuckiness occurs. Yuckiness is occurring all around me, all the time right now. All of you are present to that, right? Does it affect me? Well, you know, sometimes it calls me out. I feel emotional. Does not affect me. I know and I can play my part in it. Sometimes it's very physical because there are families out there who have no food to eat. So there is some physical stuff that I do. And then there's this stuff that I do, which is uplifting, you know, the human vibe and uplifting consciousness. Everything is within the overarching context of what I have uncovered and allowed myself to receive it as the calling of my soul. And each one of you has it for you. Mm-hmm. And if you want to know more about this, just chat, send us a chat, send a message to Catherine. But at least start coming alive, you know, that's a good starting point. Join the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Beyond Meditation, Human Vibe Attunement. It will just get cleared out and clarified and decluttered from your field. And thank you for asking that question.
Thank you, Mynoo. Thank you for the clarification. And we'll put in the chat box, we'll put a link to the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday meditation. So anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of joining, please try to make it to that 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. So I have one more question. We're running out of time as we always do, but I think this is an important one. It's come in a couple of different ways, so I'll merge these two together. Question, are we in 3D, 4D, 5D? What does this D thing mean? And how do we get to where we would want to be? Because it sounds like 5D is the ultimate.
Okay. You know, this whole journey of our human presence is a journey of coming home. And it's a journey of coming home. By doing the human vibe attunement, the soul being and the human form come together in union. It's like a beautiful union that takes place, and we become co-creators, collaborators of coexistence with the creator itself, himself. So 3D, 4D, 5D. 5D, first of all, is not the ultimate. There's a lot more than that. But certainly up to 5D is activated right here, right now. Each one of us is experiencing it in our own way. You know? And all you have to do is to give yourself permission. What's this D stuff? You'll just have to do a Google search on that rather than me take up the last couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes on describing that. Google search the dimensions and you will be able to get a response to that. The 5D is a space where you have anchored your higher self into your physical body. Your higher self is unencumbered by any form of fractures that may exist in your human disguise. Your higher self is constantly operating from your unique magnificence. And that is what gives you access to that 5D. That is what gives you that crazy, wonderful manifestations like Catherine has been experiencing. Oh, I'd love a trampoline on the beach. And lo and behold, there is this humongous trampoline on the beach. It would be lovely to have a grill on the beach. And there is a grill on the beach. It would be wonderful to have this great hammock on the beach. And there is a hammock on the beach. It's like that kind of completely unusual stuff just starts to happen. You know, we're about to finish our session. Is there a rainbow outside? She just expects to see a rainbow. And there is a humongous rainbow to such an extent that Gaurav says, maybe it's a sculpture in Maui that she's seeing. Yes, it is. It is a divine sculpture. And it is a 5D. All of these things exist. Remember, everything is a vibration. You know, all it takes is our own vibrational attunement. And we can see, have, enjoy, access anything that we want. We will at some point, when I'm guided, do the whole collapse education that I am currently going through. And that brings me to introducing the next series. The next series is related to the third industry. What I was shown very earlier on in my journey, this was in 2010, it was a shock to my system at the time. What I was shown was that everything that exists, all the markets, all the industries, all the organizations, all the services, they fall in two industries. They fall in the death industry or the sex industry. The death industry is fueled by fear, and it is about propagating that fear. So even organic foods, the way that, even though they are about nourishment and nurturing, the way they were being talked about was there'll be something, you know, you're being damaged by pesticides and GMOs, so eat organic. So it fell into the death industry. Sex industry is about instant gratification. Neither of those were deeply fulfilling, but that's how pretty much everything was there. I'm not going to go do a deep dive into it. I will be talking about it more over the next 12 weeks. I was shown that my expression of expecting and accepting miracles becoming the norm is actually to be a part of fueling and anchoring the third industry. And the third industry is the relationship industry. It ties in so perfectly with thriving as being the way of now and all the way on going into the future. Surviving, right? You know, our survival instinct operates from the death industry, sex industry domain. The relationship industry is all about thriving. So the next 12 weeks, we are going to do a deep dive into each of the letters that make up relationship. So we will begin with the R of relationship, and then we will go into E, and then we'll go on from there. So next Thursday, when we meet here, I will introduce this industry more fully, and I will introduce what are the 12 steps that you are to climb to anchor yourself and enter a new vantage point where you can rise and operate from this third industry, which is the relationship industry. It's a relationship with each other, with the planet, with other living beings, within ourselves, outside ourselves, all of it. And we couldn't have gone to that space with the certainty that we can without having gone through the journey into the 7 seas. We couldn't have gone into the journey into the 7 seas without having anchored a way of navigating the unknown. And now we are ready to emerge. The next, remember, what's next? We have landed in the next. And the next is the third industry, the relationship industry. So, welcome. It's literally like we've opened the gates of manifestation, all of us, and we are just crossing the gates of manifestation right now. So thank you all for being here. Please share one word in the chat box of what you're present to right now. And I really look forward to meeting you on Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturdays, as well as next Thursday for the beginning of the next series, which is a 12-part series on relationship, beginning with the R of relationship.
Thank you so much, Mynoo. Thank you all for joining. And I have one little surprise for anyone who's interested. Mynoo has invited us on Saturday. Details will follow. If you'd like more information on some of the programs, such as Thrive or the Source Mastery or the Journey into Miracles, any of the programs that she's offering, feel free to come on board and we will give you more details on that. Invite your friends. There'll be a variety of people that will be talking about their experience with these programs. So I really am excited to share with you and to hear from everyone who's done their work with Mynoo. And thank you for continuing to put your words in. We have joyful, hopeful, excitement, joy, tears of joy, surprise about energy in the universe, consciousness. This is like my favorite part, to just hear these words and feel these words. You guys are totally amazing. We love you so much. And we're so excited that you were able to join us today and continue to join us on the journey. The journey, I say, of a lifetime. Lifetimes, perhaps.
The video is also there on Facebook Live, so you can also go on Facebook and share your words and continue to share them. Share it with as many people as you want. This is these Thursday calls, the Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday sessions are really my service to all of us. So please share them widely.
We have happiness, gratitude, empowered, yes, confidence. They keep flowing in here. Love, calm. My word is abundance. We make up words too. Resilience, love, alive, open. Mynoo, what's your word?
My word is magnificence. And somebody's asked where on Facebook. It's on my page, Mynoo Maryel. So you can get it there.
And we have questions about when the Saturday call is. Right now it's set for 7 p.m. That would be Pacific time, but I think we're going to move it up because there's a lot of people East Coast that might be a little too late. So we will get back to you on that. We'll be sending out a thank you for joining the call, and we'll have all the information for that Saturday call. So thank you guys so much. We have rested, love that word, divine guidance. Mynoo will be sharing with us at some point how she compresses time, because I don't know how she does it. She goes to sleep for maybe 3 hours. Can you just give us that one little bit of information before we go, Mynoo? How do we do it?
No, we actually only require 1.5 hours of sleep. The rest is rest. So I have learned to rest. The 946 breath is a very powerful way to rest. The human vibe attunement, very deep rest. I am totally, completely rested.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we're all going to get our rest tonight. I think I'm going to have to do a little more than an hour. That probably takes some practice. But thank you guys all for joining. We look forward to seeing you again. Again, we'll get back to you on this Saturday with more details. We'll be talking about Pivot on that Saturday night call, as well as the journey into miracles and the source mastery work that Mynoo does. And she always gives us a surprise. So I can't wait to see what that one will be. So thank you again, and love you guys all. Thanks for being here every Thursday. Bye, guys. And thanks to all the new faces. It's so good to see you here.